Hello. As the stream says, I am setting up the cameras. Let me see, do I have audio? Yeah, I have audio. Okay. I'm setting up the cameras, so well, you can't actually see it from here, but this is the camera I'm leaving be because it's right next to the chat window over here. But now that I've streamed a couple times, I'm thinking about moving this as well. So we'll see. Anyways, we had another camera. You can kind of see it. We had another camera over here, and it was kind of getting a wide shot of the side, but the lighting was always kind of meh. Anyways, there's a whole bunch of reasons I'm moving it, but it meant that I had to move the whole battery pack. And since this is on a standing desk system, when I set something up electronic, I do this thing where I zip tie everything and I bundle it. I'm looking at this camera like it's on. I bundle it, I zip tie it, I get everything all worked up. So it was really hard to get that out. That's kind of a humble brag. I didn't mean for it to come off that way. It's just, I think I get a little compulsive when I first set something up. And there we go. And that's actually why I hadn't moved that camera for like the first 2 weeks, because I went to try and get the battery pack out, but it was so tight and zipped in there. Hey, what's going on, CB? Let's see. My chat window's over here on this side. Yeah, you know, I'm thinking I'm just gonna move it back to where it's big, I can see it. There we go. Just found my channel the other day, and my videos are fantastic. I really appreciate that. Thanks so much for the encouragement. I just made 2 more videos today. One about HeroScape. The dogs are freaking out about something. What are they freaking out about? Oh, are you home?
Yeah, no, not yet.
Oh, okay. My son just got here.
What is it?
Nothing. I'm talking to the chat right now.
Hi, chat.
Anyways, HeroScape. I just got that for my son Riker, and we had 1 successful game. So I made a video about that, and then I also made a video giving a bit of a channel update, and you know that I'm probably going to be focusing on TTRPGs mostly, but you know, still the other games. So, anyways, CV, thank you for the encouragement. I appreciate it. All right, this one should be ready to go on. Let me see if it turns on. And okay, it does have power. Let me see what it sees. All right, it says see memory card. Okay, hang on. So I press the back button. No, I have to hit the backwards. There we go. Okay. All right, let me zoom that out so it's not right in my face. Okay. Yeah, that is right. Are you home? Not yet. Usually my son comes home around 7, 8. Well, lately it's been a little bit later because they get dinner later. He goes over to his mom's house on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, and he's with me on Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays. Anyway, so he just came back in the door, and I'm like, I was trying to figure out what the dogs were barking at. I thought it was Lex, and I'm like, I just saw her a minute ago. She's in the room. Someone's in the house. All right, actually, no, I want this to be not on the person sitting here. I want this one to be on the painting.
I'm not with you Saturday.
What?
I'm not with you Saturday.
Oh yeah, Saturday during the
for game night.
yeah Saturday during the day, and he usually yeah he hangs up with his mom Saturday during the day, and that's usually when I end up spending time prepping for our game session. All right, let's see.
I will be back earlier tonight.
Okay, what time are you coming back?
I'm coming back at like right after Taekwondo, and then Ryan's gonna be with me.
Okay. All right, well, if you get here early enough, maybe you can do some painting. I'm just gonna start painting the minis for your brother's game.
Okay.
Oh, thank you, TSL frontman. It is the... I normally would just shave all my hair. Like that's just, if I had a choice in the matter, I would just shave all my hair. Then I don't have to worry about it. I was bald for like years just by choice. And it's like the easiest way to give myself a haircut. But my wife doesn't like it, and my son Riker doesn't like it. When it was,
I don't like it either.
okay, well, my son Riker, when he was, and apparently Bishop doesn't like it either. When my son Riker was little, he used to go pat, 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 pat. And so it made me like grow my hair out. I just hate having hair by my ears. So I started shaving my head this way. I think I saw Harris Heller with that haircut, and I went, "Oh, it's okay to have a weird apocalypse haircut." It was like surprising information. So I was like, "I'll do it too then." Yeah. All right. I think I like this back up a little bit higher and over, as opposed to straight on. That might be good. I might have to mess with the lighting on this one. There's like 6 lights in this area. I don't know why that looks so dark. Okay. Oh, that's actually, okay, that's, okay, now I gotta move this guy out of the way. That's a weird place for it. Okay, so let's see. Paint here, I can just reframe it slightly. Okay, oh yeah, I'm holding a camera, otherwise I'd give you, I'll kick on a second, okay. All right, I'm just trying to see where I'm at right now, okay. No, you having dinner at your mom's house?
No, I said I'm coming back after with Ryan.
Sorry, I was half paying attention. Okay, coming back after with Ryan. Oh, you and Ryan gonna play?
I was thinking we could play Slay the Spire, but I didn't realize you were streaming.
I'm actually was only planning on streaming for, I'm only planning on streaming for painting these miniatures. If you want to actually play a game with Ryan,
I thought we could all 3 play
Sure.
Slay the Spire.
Sounds good. Yeah, we can teach him how to play. That'd be fun. All right, he's leaving.
Bye, Shada.
He says bye. You buzz your hair, but not by choice. Keep the beard so the wife is happy. How's it going, O'Neill Flynn? All right. Something's wrong with that. I think I like the head up here, which means I need to move the angle of the camera a little closer into straight on. Nope. There we go. Okay. That should be pretty center. And that way the camera's also not like looking at my slightly fat tummy. There we go. Good drop. Okay. All right, and that is center. I still don't like where the face is. The face is, I don't know, that might have to do for now though. Maybe I'll just make this face a little smaller on this scene. Let's see. Oh, you were saying the wrong name on my video about solo games. Fighting Fantasy is the A+ novel RPG with stats and dice and things. They're worth reading just for the encounter ideas alone. Okay, so TSL Frontman. That's kind of what I was looking for. I actually went to I went to our board game store the other day and just asked them what sort of like solo RPG, like, you know, like a choose your own adventure type, you know, like a pre-written thing, and they only had one in stock. They had like some sort of vampire journal or something. Anyways, it didn't really sound like exactly what I was looking for, but I found one on Amazon that people have been recommending, and it's called For Against Darkness. Anyways, so I'm guessing the one that you're talking about, Fighting Fantasy, you say it's an A+ novel RPG. That sounds like one of those systems where it's kind of like a choose your own adventure. Like I've played some video games like that. I'm trying to think of what it was called. It was actually like basically a video game version of that, but I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, so yeah, if you could tell me a little bit more about the Fighting Fantasy 1,000-Year-Old Vampire. Yes, that was the one. That was the one that they had. Anyways, yeah, if you can tell me a little bit more about the Fighting Fantasy, and if you know where to find it. Okay, yeah, fighting. Okay. So where can I find it? Because my game store apparently doesn't carry like any of these like little solo games or whatever. You know, they've got tons of different systems, but they just don't carry anything solo. So, and on Amazon, there's been a few of these games where, like, so someone, for example, someone mentioned the game Colossus, and so I think I looked that up on Amazon and then gave up afterwards, and that's still in my mind. I got to try and find where that one is. But that system sounded interesting. I am probably I'm uploading 2 videos right now. One where I'm explaining like kind of my channel focus, and I'm explaining that I'm going to try and focus more on the TTRPGs more than other stuff. And there, anyways, I explain the reasons why in the video. But I'm also, let's see. Sorry. Yes, I have checked out Iron Sworn. That's one that pops up a lot for. So yeah, so So this guy in, hold on, Scandinavia? No. I remembered where he was from and then I forgot it again. I actually just talked about him in the channel update video that is uploading. I'm learning how to play Ironsworn and Starforged with a guy, Croatia. He's in Croatia. Anyways, he messaged me. He messaged me and then he emailed me, and then we've gotten in like one game where he explained it. So I kind of like, oh, okay, I understand how it works with the 2d10 and the 1d6, and it was pretty cool. Like, and he was just doing some scenarios and I added a little input. Then we got a second game in where I was playing a character and he was playing the character, and we had like goals and we were trying to do some stuff. And you know, I could see how, you know, because we had like a scene where we're in space, and then I was like, let's try and get into a space fight, and let's try and dock on the ship, and you know, sometimes I'd give an idea and he'd go, oh, actually, and so it was a really fun, interesting example of co-DMing, and I really had fun with it. I enjoyed playing the system. Like, it was actually fun and the story was memorable, but I liked doing it with someone. Like, I don't know if I'd actually enjoy it by myself. I'm thinking about it. I mentioned in the video that's uploading right now that I got a hold of Free League Publishing and asked them, because I'm like, because you know, I bought a couple of them. I bought Dragonbane and like the Bestiary book, but like at some point I'm looking at them, I'm like, I'm not gonna play all these games. I just want to get to figure out what they are, you know. And so there's a ton of different game systems I'm trying to learn right now. So I got a hold of Free League Publishing and I asked them if they'd send me like 6 different starter sets, you know, because I'm like, I want to go through them, not to give like a review, but to cover them. And they said yes. I was like so surprised. I was like, okay, cool. So I'm happy about that. All right, I missed a couple things. Okay, so okay, yeah, Colossal, yeah. Try a bookstore. We try a bookstore for the FF books or yard sales. Okay, used bookstores for sure. Interesting. All right, is the glue safe? If you were here the other night and you're referring to the glue incident we had while we were streaming, yes, he's not here to mess with the glue, and I managed to fix the jet. He glued it so wrong. Oh my goodness, it was so difficult. I was cutting through plastic with these things. Oh my goodness, but I fixed it. I finally put it back together. It's covered in varnish. So those novels do a good job of feeling like silent dungeon master that communicates via text. Okay, all right. The silent dungeon master communicates via text. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And I think that's where I thought, you know what? If I'm playing a solo RPG, it looks like there's a lot of this, like, not me talking to myself, but like, I'm gonna be sitting there and I'm gonna roll a result. I'm gonna look at the table with the result, and then I'm going to decide with myself that this, you know, outcome based on like some vague information. And like, there's a part of it that just feels, I don't know. It's like, I kind of want the, I think if I'm solo gaming, I probably would prefer video games, or like even the Slay the Spire card game, or tabletop miniatures game, for example. Like, I like to know that the game pushes back. And at some point, like, I think it's just a me thing. Like, RPGs to me are largely a social game. Like, they're like, in my mind, they're like, this is something you do with a group of people, whether it's one person, you know, like I was doing with the dude from Croatia, or if it's like my family. And there's something about my character does a thing because your character does a thing, and at least I like that. So I think for me, the solo gaming probably has to be more where the game pushes back, like Marvel Champions or something. No, I mean, okay, the ship survived. It was so messed up though. Yeah, I'm actually happy it worked out the way that it did, and it was largely his idea. I told him I want to just turn it into like a ship ruins. Like, I want to make it like, you know, because I messed up one of my Shatterpoint terrain pieces, and so I just glued some green stuff and made it into vines, and now it looks like the whole thing's being overtaken. And I said, I could just do that with a ship. And he was like, no, I want it to be a fancy looking ship. I'm like, then you probably should have looked at the instructions. You can't make this a fancy ship. This thing's gonna look beat up no matter what. And so he's like, okay, but I don't want it to be ruins. And so I wasn't allowed to make it ruins. It was his idea. I hear banging somewhere. All right, let's get back to this camera adjustment thing. Okay, so that's actually what happened to sleeping.
Oh, he's hungry.
Oh, he's hungry. Snack time? I think he's tricking you. What did I do with the miniatures? Okay, well, I'll just use a sample one right now. Okay, let's see. I have to get used to that. Everything's backwards. Okay, and I also have to adjust the lighting. Let me see if I zoom. It goes into this area. That's probably about where I would paint, but that's not where Bishop would paint. Okay. All right, and if it's glossy, yeah, it's a little reflective. Okay. All right, that's probably gonna have to do until I can find something better. Let me lock that in. And one of these lights is not on bright enough, I can tell. Oh, that's better. Okay. All right, and I'm still gonna make this smaller. There. And let's lock that. Switch. Wide. Okay, and then I have a regular wide. I don't think I have a regular wide. Okay. Heroes of Cerulean might have the ecosystem for you. Interesting, okay. It's the Zelda-inspired solo RPG. Has a good system for making a campaign, generating different dungeon bosses with different weaknesses and items. Thank you for that. Okay, that's helpful. So I'm gonna get back to my list here. I had a couple of the games people had been mentioning. I did find that 4 Against Darkness game, and it's only like $13 on Amazon, which is like, okay, I can manage $13 for a game that I might hate, you know, like. Anyway, so yeah, it's good to you give me more idea of what the game is. That's helpful. All right, so Heroes of Cerulean. Because, oh, I've spelled that wrong. Cerulean, U-L-E-A, not I-A. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so the thought I had about the solo gaming is like, I probably would still like to understand exactly how it works. You know, one, because I just kind of want to understand it, you know, like it's a game system and there seems to be a lot of people who are into it. And like initially I thought maybe it's fringe, like maybe it's just a few people, or maybe it's just like people who are interested in dungeon mastering. Like who would be interested in playing a game just by yourself that the game didn't push back on it? So like I went into it like I just don't understand it. And a lot of people responded with comments like, yo, I did it. I started doing it during 2020, like it just became a thing or something. Or people saying like, oh no, I've done it for a long time, but I use it as an art measure, like story writing or something. And so I was getting a few of those people like, okay, and it's like, okay, that makes sense to me. But then there were genuinely a number of people who are like, no, I actually just enjoy it. And I do have regular games, or I could even fill this time, and I still would choose it. And then I'm like, I just don't understand that person, because maybe it's to me that like, the RPGs are a multiplayer thing. So what I do want to try one. You know, I want to try one and go like, look, I could be so totally wrong about this. So I thought about you doing the Dragonbane campaign. Like if Free League sends me the box, I will try it as a solo player and just like, is it fun? You know. Also, my thought is I want to use Dragonbane to try and get my son playing a game with some of his friends from school, and I think it'd be a fun system to play in, because I think it'd be a game I could hand over to them, because the Bestiary book is so interesting. I thought it was such a really, like, it's just a really good Dungeon Master book where you roll dice to get what the monsters do, especially for kids, because like Dungeon Mastering can be very overwhelming. I gotta pay attention to all these stat cards. I gotta pay attention to all these spells. Like I gotta know all the things my players might do, and then what all my NPCs could do in response. And it's like, no, don't worry about what your NPCs. As soon as they turn hostile, roll a d6, and it's like it stomps them to death. You know, it's very interesting. I liked it a lot. So I saw that book and I was like, whew, okay. I might try the solo game on it to teach myself how to play it a little better, so I can teach my son's friends. Kane Steelhood, hey, I like your videos. I hope you keep on making them. I plan to. I have 2 uploading right now. I'm guessing my internet can't be down. Maybe I turned the Wi-Fi off on my phone. No, I didn't. Well, then that means whatever whatever live stream I'm doing with you right now might be jumpy because it looks like my internet is boggy at the moment. Both of these videos say they're going to be an hour and 15 minutes. Wait, 26 minutes. So, all right, that's all bogged down. Either way, I was just going to fix my cameras because the next time we live stream, I want this camera to be able to get, like my son paints and I do what I'm doing now. I just ramble. Anyways, my son likes painting over here and the camera has been wrong. So I wanted to set up the camera in the spot where he can paint it. It's just, I think I've focused it up or focused it down a little bit too much, but it'll work for now. I'm also going to be painting some HeroScape figures. I picked up HeroScape. That's actually one of the videos I'm uploading right now is a video about HeroScape. And I picked up HeroScape for my son Riker, and I was encouraging because we've been trying to teach him a game for like over almost 2 years. We've been trying to teach him has it been 2 years? Man, it might have been 2 years. We've been trying to teach this game a board game or card game or tabletop game, and it's just nothing, you know. Anyways, we had a really good session with him with the HeroScape game because of like the way the tiles are made, and then it's like monsters versus pirates. Like that was like they'd already had like a story kind of in it, just in like, hey, look, it's this octopus monster. Hey, it's this pirate, you know, and like it was like, oh, it was instantly a story. He liked it. So we had one game session. That's one, not two, and it went pretty well. So I'm stoked about that. All right, I think that one's good for now. Let me go run downstairs. I'm gonna get my water and I'm gonna get the figures, and then I'm gonna make sure that all this works by painting it like my son would. So I mean, that's actually the point of the stream. Are there any video games you wish you could play in board game form, or video games you miss playing, etc.? What a good question. Okay, that is an awesome question because yes, there is absolutely one. Okay, so my favorite video game, and it's the video game that probably broke all video games for me, was the game Control. Control was such an interesting and fantastic world. It felt like you were playing in the X-Files, but like, what if flat earthers were right? You know, like it was such an interesting world, and like all the weird stuff and like the paranoia gobbledygook. Like there's an area where you come to like the artificial space, like the moon landing. Like the game touched on so many interesting like paranormal conspiracy things, because like I grew up like watching the X-Files, and so this game was like just interesting. Like there's a refrigerator that eats people, and I was like, what? You know, like that's such a crazy idea. And then I was like, well, why does the refrigerator eat people? And so I found myself like reading in a game, and I was not a reader. I was never a reader, but I'm like reading through the game to go like, why would this refrigerator eat people? And then you find out that the refrigerator eats people because like the dad had a picture on the refrigerator of his kid's drawing, and like the kid died or something, and so the dad stared intently at the refrigerator for years and years and years. Anyways, like that story had such a crazy like metric of play. It was such an amazing game. I loved that game, and I recently had the thought, I wonder if Delta Green is like Control. You know, because it's like conspiracy theories and stuff, and you know. But I went to the board game guys and I was asking them like about, you know, Delta Green, like what's it like? Is it good? And a friend of mine also said, yeah, it's pretty fun, but it's more like what's that show? True Crime? No, if that's a real name of a show, then that's the one I mean. The one with Woody Harrelson and. Anyways, and they said that, and I was like, oh, okay. I thought it was like conspiracy theory world or something, and so I was excited. So yes, if there was Control. And I don't know how you do it, because right, you gotta like, maybe it has to have miniatures. I think Cyberpunk might get close to that with some of the way powers and things work. But yeah, I think it's a setting thing, and I would really love it if that game existed. Or Alan Wake. That's a pretty interesting setting as well, because it's like it's a horror game about a horror book that's also like it's a meta thing. There was a person, my friend of mine told me about an RPG, a tabletop RPG, while we were at the board game store. It's called Dice something, and apparently it is like that. It's like a meta board game. Like you're playing a tabletop role-playing game in a tabletop role-playing game. You know, it's the best I understand it. But like that was a crazy idea. I was like, wait, what? And like he had to explain a little more. He's like, yeah, the DM is actually a player, but the DM can cheat in the game. And I was like, my mind is being blown. So I was like, that sounded really interesting. But yeah, to answer your question, if there was a board game You know, I also like Myst and stuff too, though. So I mean, like I'm also interested in like puzzle type games. If there's games, like I know Dungeons and Dragons had like puzzles, but it was often like just roll a d6 or something. I found a book on puzzles in one of the game systems that reminded me kind of Myst, where there was like keys and things, and so that was an interesting module to add. Delta Green sounds like Control as you're describing it. Popular with younger players, apparently. Is it really? Okay. So, excuse me. One of the guys at the board game store was talking about the Delta Green game, and explained that one of the reasons that people like it, maybe right now, is because it doesn't require you to imagine anything. You know, like nothing fantastical. Like you don't have to try and explain to people what an airship is or something, you know, because it's like, well, have you seen a car? You know, it's like, well, there's cars in this game, you know. Have you seen a gun before? Okay, well, this one's like an old looking gun, you know. And so because it's kind of a modern day setting, there's not a lot of like narrative buildup, and so it might maybe that makes it easier to DM. It's like, well, you're in an alleyway, you know, and you don't have to really get too descriptive because people have been to alleyways. That was what the guy at the board game store was at least explaining, that it's been real easy to get players to kind of jump into it, and maybe he's experienced this by comparison to things. So I thought that was pretty interesting, that like the setting mattered that much. Apparently Siri has been listening to me for like the last 10 minutes. Yeah, I don't know how this stream is working right now because these things are not moving at all. All right, I'm gonna try and shut down YouTube and see if that helps. All right, it's just gonna take a while. All right, I'm gonna go grab the figures downstairs so I can start painting them. Yeah, okay, let's see. You're really interested in, oh, hold on. Really interested in Mario Party style physical above table games. Interesting. Oh, okay, yeah, tell me some more about that. That sounds pretty cool. Huh. I saw something like that on Amazon. It was a game, like the game box itself came with a bunch of things like that, like plastic cups and straws and like a bunch of like rules for making little quirky mini games or something. Have you found one of those that works really well? Let's see. You get your players to start with a team, work blind maze, puzzle. I made it and they loved it. Interesting. Are these so are these something you're designing yourself? That sounds crazy, huh? Yeah, I would be interested in trying that as well. There's a bunch of like, sometimes I'm trying to figure out like games to play at our kids ministry for like, you know, I don't know, ages 5 to 12 or 13, you know, probably about 5 to 12, you know, and like, you know, okay, we've played so many tags and, you know, what is it, sharks and minnows. Anyway, so yeah, if there's like these kind of little party games, that'd be interesting. I would probably try and see what a large of a group I could get it implemented in. Let's see. Breaking into the dungeon with teamwork gets them all in sync and communicating from the start. Here's the rules, etc. Okay, interesting. Yeah, if you have like a link, if there's something pre-made like that, I'd totally be interested in that. Otherwise, if you have like a PDF, let me know where. I'm gonna grab the figures real quick. I'll be right back. What are you dogs doing?
Where's the good boy?
Thank you for waiting. All right. So, let me switch this back over and see how the lighting is. Since this is kind of what my son and I do, and he seems to really like it, it's getting him to paint miniatures. As he finished up, he finished up this Black Widow recently. Okay, I gotta find a focus point. Where are you at? There we go. He finished up Black Widow recently. Okay, I have to figure out what to do about that lighting. So I think I go up a little higher and just aim it at my lap or stomach. There we go. All right. Okay, let's see. Still something wrong with the lighting. This light may need to come into the center area. Now, the desk is all tall. That's going to be difficult to get to. Let's see. Breaking into the dungeon with teamwork gets them all in sync and communicating from the start. Okay, interesting. I see. All right, so take a piece of regular paper, put dots every inch and make a grid. Then make a maze with multiple routes, easy enough to solve at a glance. One player starts with a pencil but keeps their eyes closed. Oh, interesting. Okay. The other players have to direct them. They usually... Oh, okay, wait, okay. They usually... That's... Okay, that sounds fun. The players have to direct them. They usually assign you... say up, down, okay? I'll say left, right. Themselves don't give instructions except... Okay, so, all right. As you're describing that, I'm like, I could very easily set some sort of obstacle course up at the church or use tape or something. That's a cool idea. And then have one kid blindfolded and everyone else trying to direct them how to get through the maze. That sounds really fun. And I understand what you're saying in like in paper and pencil terms. So it's also a very interesting idea where you have someone, writing it down and then you drawing their. I get what you're saying. That's a cool idea. That's fun. And you say you have more of these games? Please give me a list of all of them. That's fantastic. All right, so what am I going to do here? Going to open this up wider so we get in a little more light. Okay. And I need to get my light in a little bit more. Oh, don't go sideways. All right. Drop down. All right. That's not too bad. Okay. All right. I think I still want to move that light. So that means I'm going to have to get dangerous. I mentioned early in the stream that when I set all this up, it was very neat and organized. It is no longer neat or organized. Let's see. Okay. They get a negative repercussion if you either hit a wall or the drawer opens their eyes. Interesting. Okay. Only one may draw with closed eyes. You all win when you get to the exit. Okay, that's interesting because then you could do it like competitively. That's cool. Okay. I've had similar rules. One called bugs in the machine, but the objective is to sort of attack bugs with your pencil, still with your eyes closed. Oh, but not hitting any edges. Interesting. Okay. So that one sounds like on the piece of paper you'd make like some sort of dots or something, and then the person has to try and get close to it or something with the pencil without like crossing through it. That one I don't have as good of a picture of. All right, let's see if this is updated. Okay, so I'm going to turn my Wi-Fi off again. Maybe it'll actually go faster that way. Another puzzle shaped like a keyway with tumblers. Another puzzle shaped like a keyway. Okay, with tumblers, they have to hit with a don't touch this area right past it. So they have to slow down. Let's see. Oh, okay. Tumblers, they must hit. Don't touch this area. Okay, so like little mazes with areas where they have to go back and forth and and not touch the walls. Okay, so kind of like playing the game Perfection or something. Okay, interesting. All right, let's see if that is now working. Nope. Seems like everything on YouTube is frozen right now. All right, I'm not gonna worry about it anymore. I'm going to try and paint these guys and see if the lighting works for that. I don't often get to paint, although I have really enjoyed it. I did not think I would enjoy painting when I first started with the Marvel Crisis Protocol things. I was like, this is not gonna be fun. I'm too old to learn a new hobby. Like I'm not gonna get into it, right? And as I began to paint them, I was like, well, I like painting the terrain. And then, let's see, the dots are for you, so you can make mazes. I understand. Okay, yeah, basically big grid paper and dry erase, grid, etc. Okay, that's cool. That's a good idea. I like that. Thank you. Miniatures, right? I think the first time I bought a miniature that wasn't part of a starter box, it was like the Hulk from Marvel Crisis Protocol, and there was something about like, well, I paid like 24 bucks for this one miniature. And I was like, I better try. You know, like I better not just put paint on it. Like that sucks. And so that was like the first one where I was like, all right, I'm gonna dry brush it, or I'm gonna learn how to dry brush. And okay, it came out okay. It was fine. But it at least looked like Hulk, whereas the previous ones, I was like, you know, like my Red Skull, like he's got red on his head, but he's mostly just, you know, like sticky black. I wasn't even using like the right paint. I came into like painting miniatures, and my son was like, hey, let's get some nice miniature paints. And I was like, yeah, let's get testers. that was because that was what I used to paint models with when I was a kid. All right, I'm getting these lined up. I'm missing one. Hold on, 1, 2, 3. No, there's 6 of them. Good, okay, I got them. All right, and I need to sort of make them look like their pictures. And it's important that they look somewhat like their pictures so that my son, Riker, recognizes them based on image. So let's see. I'm just gonna set that like right there. Okay, so I gotta go more purple with this guy. I am mostly a contrast painter now. Now that I've dipped my toe in the painting thing, I'm like, so you're saying I don't have to work really hard to get it to look nice? I'll do that. I wonder if I could get this to work. Imagine not. No, I have to move this to a different angle. I'll leave it be for now. Let's turn this light on though. Oh, I think that's added a little bit to it. Okay. I suppose my son would probably keep it here, but now it's a little blown out. That light hitting the white right there. Let me see if I drop the tone down on it. There we go. It's a little better. It's a little yellow though. Okay, so the yellower the better. Except that's really yellow. Let me bring that back up. All right, that's, yeah, okay, leave it there. Okay. Let's see. You might tilt your modeling camera down a bit. Top half, the one shot is just your shirt. Top, oh, that's a good point. Thank you. See if I can get that without it darkening the lens so much. Relax. There we go. Almost. There we go. Left, right. straighten. Oops. Why is that going so crooked? Other way, other way. Okay. And now refocus. Okay. Yeah, I thought the models were pretty cool too. I mean, I'm excited that my son's at least interested in it, and I like the fact that it came with a sort of a setting. You know, like I wasn't really even paying attention that much to it at the store. It was just like the cheaper version, and I could get it, and then like I could at least figure out if the game would be fun to play, because at worst it's something Bishop and I could play, but at best it would work for Riker. And so I got the cheaper one, not even really looking at like what the monsters were. And then when I started going through the box, I'm like, oh, it's pirates versus monsters. And yeah, Riker liked that right away. I was trying to get him to play a game today, but he has a cold, he is sick, and he's not feeling well, and that just did not happen. TSL Frontman, do you play any miniature war games? Like, have you ever played Warhammer or been interested in Warhammer? I say Warhammer because I can tell that, or at least so far as I can tell, in the tabletop war game scene, Warhammer is like the D&D. It's I guess like the one most people play or something. Although I guess that might be changing with, you know, with there being like a Marvel and a Star Wars game. Maybe it's getting more to be people are playing lots of different games. I'm not sure. I still have only played maybe 2 different systems, one-page rules and the Marvel Crisis Protocol. Although I did play this one a little bit, and I have been trying to learn the rules for the Cyberpunk one. It looked pretty simple to set up, and I liked all the characters and colors and stuff. All right, I need to get some pink in here too. This needs to be pink and purple. I have a pink somewhere, and I probably should start wet blending that in now. Warhammer is too expensive for you. Interesting. So, yeah, you're right. It is a major investment. When we first were interested in trying to get Riker to learn a game, I thought that the Warhammer minifigures would be a good start, and like I'm pretty sure I was right. Like they're like he can see them, and that was part of it, because like they're kind of bigger and less fragile than the Marvel Crisis Protocol figures. So you know, I mean, and when we picked up the Leviathan box with all the different miniatures, right away it was like, okay, these are a lot of miniatures, but there's a bunch of sturdy ones in here, and it's going to give us some future potential for the board game we wanted to make for him, or the miniature game we wanted to make for him. And I think I'm still working on those, but the problem was I had to keep trying to come up with a system to work the board game in, and I'm not like a game designer, so we couldn't figure out like a set of rules that would be simple enough, that would be fun, that he would play it with. And now what I might do, if he understands these monsters, is just put these monsters into our into our game somehow. I'd use these boards or whatever and play the same kind of story game with like Pinocchio or something, and maybe other fantasy characters. I think the story really helped Riker connect with the previous game that we were playing with Donkeys in the Salt Mine, because he likes Pinocchio so much. Problem is he just would want to be like a Marvel character, and then like he'd play out some cartoon episode that he'd seen, and he wants to drop a building down on the board, and I'm like, there's not supposed to be any buildings on this board. Used to play Warhammer 40K. Also played Deathwatch RPG. Deathwatch. I don't think I'm familiar with that one. With friends. Crunchiest rules you've ever tried to wrap your head around. And a few D&D editions. Hero Quest, Sentinels of the Multiverse. So tell me about Deathwatch RPG. Yeah, I haven't heard of that system. Like I've heard of the. I think the Multiverse one is the one that's. Is that the Marvel one? That's a D6 system, or am I thinking of the wrong game? Anyways, I know Hero Quest. I actually thought about getting that board game to try and teach Riker, but I think the fact that the terrain moves around, like it is, you probably knock it over, But I did seriously think about it. All right, let's get some pink in here. That is not the pink, is it? Nope, that's red. This is a pink. All right. And let's see, it goes all the way down into the little tentacle wraps. The nice thing about painting miniatures for my son Riker is that I don't have to be too precise with it. He's pretty imaginative when it comes to things looking like other things. So you just say something as a thing, and then he's like, yeah, that's exactly it. It's made it really easy with like Lego minifigures. Because we could just make like something that has, I don't know, bluish hair and say, hey, look, it's Jubilee. He goes, yeah, that's Jubilee. So I'll probably have to move this camera up because I think my son paints a little closer to the table over here. I'm also standing right now, so this is a little easier to lean into the table. I haven't tried Hero Quest. Deathwatch. Let's see. Deathwatch is a faction. Oh, okay. Is a faction in 40K. Basically, special operations Space Marines. Incredibly immersive, but also like 1,000. Interesting. Incredibly immersive, but also 1,000K. Oh, 1,000 pages between. Wow. Okay, so it sounds like Deathwatch is an RPG version of like Warhammer, and it's incredibly immersive. So are those 4 rule books all rules, or is that like lore and rules? Because if that's all rules, that's intense. That's super intense. And I get it. Warhammer's kind of intense, like with its rules and stuff. At least by comparison to some of the other like war games that I've seen. I'm gonna try and wet blend this purple back in too. This was also a game I thought, if I could get my son playing this, I think the miniatures are close enough and like they're kind of big. Like all of these are like, this one's not too chunky, but I saw that was a dragon in one of the other games, or like the starter set. And I had the thought like, this might be one where I could get him to paint the miniature and actually care about it looking like the miniature. Like maybe he would actually try to put his paints on the right spaces and stuff. Wrong way. Right way. Okay, too close then. Okay, so let's see. Now that I have this upside down and backwards and forwards are all messed up in my mind. Come on. There we go. Okay. Or purple. There's so many different like paints we've gone through before I could actually make myself pull the trigger on. I think these things are like $7 or something. You know, and it's like, it's just such an expensive paint. Like, we went through the Army Painter paints, the Army Painter, like, oh no, sorry. Some kind of Dungeons and Dragons like starter box or something. I think it was Reaper paints or something. And then we started picking up like the Army Painter ones and then the 2.0s. Anyways, we jumped through so many different paints before I finally was like, all right, let's try these. And I think I like the Army Painter 2.0 ones, but they always looked a little bit chalky. Like somehow the paint would come out and there'd be like little splotches, or I don't know if the pixels were dense or something. But it was just so different moving to these. I have not made myself go to the Fanatic paints because I'm like, no, you know what? I found a paint that works and I'm just gonna go with it, and I don't want to keep buying new paints. I have Vallejo paints. I have some of the Turbo Dork paints. I finally figured out how to use those, but I misused those a few times on Marvel Crisis characters. And, you know, I learned. It's like a little too shiny, huh? I'm pretty sure I'm just going to leave the figures that way. People talk about, like, bleaching down their models, and I'm like, nah. These were all, like, learning experiences. Like, yeah, I totally messed that figure up, putting too much Turbo Dork on it. Learned something. Let's see. Weird black symbol. Nobody can agree on what it is. Anyways, HeroQuest has simple rules. Box also comes with a mountain of dungeon pieces. Interesting. And models, they recently released it all fancier. That is the one that comes with, I'm thinking of the right game, right? It's like a dungeon mat, you know, with like different rooms kind of outlined on the board, and then you put like little furniture around the thing, like you put like the doorways and the bookshelves and stuff, and there's like a barbarian. It's the game that dude on YouTube makes a video about, right? Where he's like, what's the best thing about HeroQuest? You know, that video's so good. I think I've watched that like 2 or 3 times on my own. And then I showed my son. Oh, it's such a good game. Such a good video. Anyways, we're talking about the same game, right? Anyways, that's the one I think of when I hear HeroQuest. Anyways, I thought about getting that one because maybe it would help me teach Riker, but we have had such trouble with the board games that have flat surfaces. I wonder if he can actually see the differences in the spaces. Like, we don't really actually know what he can and can't see since he can't explain it to us. So since we don't know what he can see, we're kind of just showing him games on occasion. Like, you know, okay, here, let's try this. And, you know, then right away we'll go, oh, he's just moving the piece. He doesn't, you know, no, this is a space. This is as far as you can go. And he'll slide the character all around the board, you know. Some of that might be that he's just not interested in the game thematically. Hey, you want to come over here and talk? Come here. Come here, come talk to my camera. Come here, come talk to my camera on my desk. I was just talking about you. Come here. Here, you can look. I'm painting the octopus guy. Come look. You want to help me? Oh, God. Okay. Hey. You come back up here. No, don't detect the levy in my voice. I want you to come back here. Look at this octopus guy I made for you, buddy. Come on. I want you to tell me if he looks more like the octopus. Please, come here. Thank you. Come here. Don't attack the dogs. Be nice. Be nice. No. Hey. Don't do what I said just to do it. Come on. Okay, watch your step. Don't step on the box. That'll hurt. All right, here, hold on. Let me put you up on this chair. Here, sit on this chair. Oh. Yeah, okay, here, you can tell my camera, what you think about our pirate game, right? Okay, hang on, let me go this way. All right, let me go change this camera. Hang on, we're gonna go to this one. All right, here, you see this camera over here? Look over here. No, look over here. No, you're not. You're not going, hey, up here, right here. See that camera? Here. Look at our octopus man. Hey, look, can you look at the octopus man? Can you, hold on, hang on. You remember playing the game with this octopus man? Please don't kick the box. Please don't kick the box, thank you. Can you remember playing the game with this octopus man? Who did this octopus man beat up?
It beat up the pirates.
Can you say it loud?
It beat up the pirates.
And what was the pirates trying to do?
Wait, I don't know.
Oh, come on. What was the pirates trying to do? He's not into it, okay. All right, do you at least like my octopus man? Hey, no, wait, look at him. Do you at least like my colors on my octopus man? Okay, good, thank you. All right, get out of here.
Oh, go see your sentinel.
My sentinel? What sentinel?
Oh, Steve, I'll show you that sentinel.
Oh, the tripod? Okay,
I can play with it. I can play with it, Daddy.
Yeah, that tripod? Okay, can you start folding it up? I don't think that's a good idea. Yeah, but not in the Lego town, buddy. We're not gonna put the tripod in the Lego town. Yes, Bardic broadcast. Okay, hold on. My own RPG started with their dice system, sort of. Oh, okay, interesting. Your own dice system. Okay, what is your dice system? And have you sent it to me? Because I had someone who sent me their system, Stones and Swords, Swords and Stones, and I'm still trying to get time to go through that. But, anyways, yeah. What is your game system? Your own game system. Okay, immediately identifiable with mass. Okay, every +1 or -1 is significant because the values are low. Interesting. Okay. Barty, yeah. Okay. Same game. Yes. Okay. An idea. Use the same HQ board, okay, but without bright girded rooms, construction paper that fit all over the board. Interesting, that may help him focus. Huh. Okay, so same HeroQuest board, but cut out bright. You know, that's actually not a bad idea. Maybe I'd even paint it or something. Huh. Yeah, and I saw it on Amazon. I mean, my older son, if something exists at our local board game store, he won't let me get it on Amazon. So I think they have it at our local game store, HeroQuest. So I'll see how much it is next time. Next time I'm there. One of the things I was worried about is that he just might knock over all the furniture things. But you know, I mean, if nothing else, it's also a game that I can play with my son's friends. And we're always looking for like other board games we can pull out. Like, hey, we have like 2 hours or something after school someday. So like lately we've been trying to play Slay the Spire, and my son and his friend and his friend's dad, we actually finished a campaign in Slay the Spire last night. It was really fun. It was really fun playing with 4 people, like way better than 2 players. Okay, yeah, same thing. Oh, I'm way out of, right. Let's go back over. All right. Did he ever fall asleep? Okay. Whoops. Okay. What time is it right now? Riker, listen to mommy, please. Eat your food. Okay, so that's a little too dark that close. I probably should try and set this up where he's actually going to have it. And so I think his thing is to hold it right here. Okay. So he holds it like here. Maybe I want to make the camera come in closer so it's easier to see. Let's see. Okay, you haven't sent it. It's called Crystal Quest. Okay. Your D6 dice have 3 hits. Let's see. A hit apples. Let's see. Hold on. Shadow Dark game is going really well. Hang on, let me finish reading this thing. Let's see. My D6 dice. Okay, my D6 dice have 3 hits. A hit apples 1 damage. I mean, hit equals 1 damage. 2 stars. Lucky unholy bonuses if applicable. 1 face defends. Reduce incoming hits. Oh, I'd like to see that system because maybe I could find a dice system that works. I mean, like this game came with a dice that has different symbols, but yeah, I probably could find something. I mean, if you have it somewhat finished, I'd be interested in taking a look at it. I'll post my email address somewhere. Did I do that last week? I think I just said it. Anyways, yeah, Shadow Dark is going well. I like the system in general. I mean, like it's just really easy for me to run. In D&D, I was having to do so much prep, and then on top of the prep, I had like just so many things to worry about while the game was going that it was really difficult for me to just relax and go like, hey, we're just having a game, it's no big deal. I kept like stressing out, like, do I have this monster memorized? I'd be like reading through the campaign thing because I'm like, well, if they don't talk to Neil, you know, at the bar, then they're not going to get the information to get to the thing, and then I'm going to have to make up the information, or I'm going to have to pull something else in. So, you know, I was just stressing out playing through like campaigns that were all kind of like pre-generated or whatever. That was super stressful for me. And so like the moment we went over to like a hex-based thing where it's like, all right, I know some of the things going on in the world. I know what's going on down in these caves. You know, like I know what's going on in the general areas, but I don't have to remember like exactly some line that this goblin is supposed to tell them to make sure that they get to the treasure room or whatever. It was just like, look, there's a treasure room, and you guys passed it on the way in, and like you're already there. You know, it's like there was just things, there was just stuff, and I go, look, I want to throw a treasure room. I even randomly rolled one of my dungeon maps because like it wasn't essential for it to be designed a specific way. It's just so much more chill, and that's been really nice because like coming up on game nights, I am far less stressed about like what I'm gonna forget, or if I'm gonna come to some moment where I'm like, oh, I don't know I don't know what the NPC says. So all right, let's see. Currently nearly done reproofing the rule book and passing it down. I'd love to send what you've got. That'd be awesome. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna just read off my email address. Okay, I'm already getting like YouTube things on it all the time, so it's now like my garbage email address. I'm gonna have to make like a new different one or something, but I can get all this stuff on it. So send me everything, and emails that aren't YouTube now are like the ones that stand out. So eremimage@gmail.com, and that's basically like the channel email or whatever. I mean, I thought it was supposed to actually be on the channel, but for some reason it's not there. So it's, yeah, eremimage@gmail.com. Let's see. Prep is the worst part of DMing for you as well. Let's see. The player who took on DM now in your group uses ChatGPT to help fill things out. I certainly hope not. Oh, that'd be so funny because I'm like trying to avoid doing any of that AI stuff. Not like on a moral thing, just like, I don't know. It's somewhat that video that Stephen Fry put out, because I was using like the AI generated art in like videos on other channels, and like I had no problem with it. But Stephen Fry reads like some letter from some band guy somewhere talking about AI, And it was just such a it kind of blew me away because it talked about how like it's very anti-human, and like that sat with me for a little while until eventually I was like, yeah, you know what, I totally agree with not me. Like I don't like it, you know. And that doesn't mean like everyone has to feel that way, but that's just what I came to. Like it's some kind of anti-human thing. And so yes, if one of my players was using Chat GPT to resolve the results of the things I'm asking them, that I would be sad about that. Let's see. Yeah, it is nice though. I have actually enjoyed having the players take control of some of the stuff, and not because like not necessarily just because I had too many things going on, but I really wanted to give my players like a sense of what was going on in the world without having to like overload them with all sorts of like backstory about things like, okay, you need to know the 12-year experience of the campaign of the nobles. Like I didn't want to do that because we did that in our Eberron world. I had to explain to them like the entire world, and I even made like a little AI art generated preparation thing to explain like the story of Eberron, and like, and then there were the 3 dragons. Those dragons made up the world, and you know, scorn was cast to the, you know, it's like I had to do all that. And so it was like there was a lot of like my players having to know the world, and I didn't want to do that in Shadow Dark. I didn't want to have it be where it's like, okay, you got to know what everyone was doing in this world before time. So I just didn't. But now that I got to like pass off some of the NPC things, like I go, hey, what do you think the goblins are going to do with this thing or that thing? And, you know, I get to explain a little bit of the world to them just piece at a time, you know, because now they kind of know, oh, hey, the goblins did this one thing one time and in the past. And so, you know, it's also given them something to do between sessions, because like my friend in Thailand, during one of our campaigns, like he's kind of busy now, but during one of our campaigns, he was like calling us midweek, you know, because he wanted to play so much and he was having so much fun playing the game. So this little Bronstein thing gives me like another reason to kind of connect with him. But then the other thing it does that's really nice is I want to teach my son and his friend to DM games. And, you know, I also want them to understand that they need to kind of prep before the game so they don't just use like random tables and stuff. So, you know, I want to give them some idea of how that preparation works, just in this like little glance into the Bronstein thing. Like, hey, here's how it would work for you if you were just DMing on your own to run one faction, you know? Here's what it would look like, the sort of work that you would be doing to try and figure out how the game world's gonna respond to your players next. And, you know, because at some point I'd like them to have their own Dragonbane game or something, whatever system they're interested in. I'd like them to have their own game at like their friend's house, you know? Not because like I don't want to interact with them, just because like I would like them to have this be like a shared experience, you know, like the Stranger Things kids or something. And I think a way of doing that is by actually getting your own group together. So if they learn how to DM, then they'll go into DMing, and you know they'll have a fun time with their friends. And you know they need to understand like a little bit that prep is required, that they can't just show up and like, you know. Okay, so like the Dungeon Dudes have a video that my son liked, and he watched it a couple times, or at least he watched it at least once, and it was about like what kind of DM are you, you know, and it's like they, well, there's like a wizard type of DM, there's a sorcerer DM, and like, you know, they're just different classes. And like, anyways, my son laughed at the idea that he was like some sort of rogue DM where he has nothing prepared, he just makes up things on the spot. And like, you know, because we had a short campaign with him and he often was unprepared, and then he'd like roll some random encounter that killed us, and I was like, okay, it's, you know, yeah, you have to have some of this stuff prepped. So, but otherwise he's the only one that really has DM'd in our group. My friend Marshall did it one time and just didn't like it, and I don't think anyone else is really interested. So my thought was, if I do this Bronstein, like maybe we could actually get everyone interested in doing it a little bit. I gotta figure out where the focus point is. So yeah, that's a little blown out. All right, let's go back to the light again. Right then, 3,000 years ago. Yeah, you can write Elder. Now is the most fun moment or time. Let's go all the way. Hold on. Right, Elder. Now is the most fun moment or time that you or your players will experience. And only 12. Okay. Open we just started 5,000 years ago. Sorry, I'm just laughing at your comments. I got rambled on it for a while, so I didn't pay attention, so now I had to catch up. Clicking into your Google Docs. Okay. Sounds like a bard to me. Nice, having a TTRPG group Your age has its own fun dynamic. That's what I figured. Yeah, I mean, I thought like, okay, maybe if you get your kids into this, I mean, that's the thing is like, I wouldn't have gotten into any of this gaming stuff if I hadn't started doing Camp Agape, right? Like I was like, hey, video games are fine. But I started doing Camp Agape and like I was hanging out with kids that didn't have both parents in their life. And I was seeing like these kids have a really hard time paying attention. And you know, these kids have been like, they've just been playing Fortnite or something by themselves for hours. And like, they're kind of starved for real attention, like, you know, like real one-on-one attention, you know? And so I felt like, oh man, I really want to try and connect with these kids still. And then we had one of the kids was coming over and hanging out with us for games. And eventually we got playing like D&D and we had so much fun and we had such rewarding experiences. I was like, well, I kind of want to continue doing this with kids, you know, like I want to teach my nephew how to play games because he's doing a lot of like Roblox and he's doing a lot of you know, like YouTube videos where he doesn't even like finish watching the video after he starts it, you know, and I'm like, why did you start watching that video? You know, like you got like 30 seconds into it. I'm like, I gotta teach this kid how to play a game. So like, you know, we started with oh my goodness, Zombicide. We started with Zombicide. He played it, he had fun. We played Mouse Ritter. He had fun. And I was like, I could totally get this kid into games. So sorry, I got off on a rant there and totally forgot what I was initially talking about, but I think it was related to a question on here. Oh yeah, that's right. Having a fun dynamic of its own for the same age group. Anyways, yeah, as we've been going, like teaching the kids how to play these games and to play them as a player, I'm like, man, it would be awesome if you got like a few of your friends at school who you do stuff with. It'd be awesome if you got them to play in a game with you. You know, you had this kind of experience that we're having. Like we're having this experience as a family with like adults and stuff, but you guys would probably have a total blast together. And that's going to help, you know, with each of your, like, each of you with your desire to be on YouTube and to be on, like, video games and stuff, that's going to help all of you, you know, at least I think it is. Because once you start getting into one of these systems and you start, like, being creative, like, really creative, you know, it's hard to go back to just being entertained with like, a video game. You know, I mean, there's a couple games that come out on occasion where I'm like, maybe I would play that, you know, but a lot of it's like nostalgia. Oh yeah, I'd go back and play Dark Souls again, you know, like, or play Elden Ring again, or play Control for like the 4th time. You know, usually it's like some sort of nostalgic thing. I really like these paints so much. Hey, Elder Goblin Games, how's it going? Just want to pop in and say that you've been enjoying your journey through TTRPGs. Got to get back to editing. Peace out. Thank you so much. And I appreciate you watching. Thank you. I really liked your video on, it was like alternate systems. Anyways, it was 10 different RPGs, and like I found myself pausing a few times, like looking up the games you were talking about. So I don't remember what the exact theme of it was, but because I've watched just way too much RPG stuff. Anyways, it was a helpful video. Thank you. Thank you. I guess sometimes I think I'm mentoring them.
Daddy,
You know, it's like, yes, Riker.
I found your sentinel.
You found my sentinel? What are you doing with my sentinel?
Sentinel attracts mutants. Look, I found your sentinel robot.
The sentinel tracks mutants?
A sentinel robot that attracts mutants. Daddy, look.
Let me see. Oh, you did find the sentinel who tracks mutants.
He attracts X-Men also, like Jubilee.
He's gonna track X-Men like Jubilee?
And he attracts beasts.
And you
And he eats metal.
He eats metal?
Yeah, he eats metal too.
Oh, Iron Giant. Oh, yeah, okay. You mixed up Iron Giant with the Sentinels, buddy. Yeah.
Sentinel eats X-Men.
Sentinel eats X-Men. I don't think the Sentinels actually eat the X-Men. They capture the X-Men, and they take them to mutant prison.
Sentinel captures the X-Men and take them to
And
X-Men prison.
that's right. They take them to X-Men prison.
This day we'll hunt down the X-Men and then capture them and then in X-Men prison.
That sounds good. I'm realizing this guy's supposed to be gold on his chest.
I'll
That's,
say hi to your Sentinel before he puts the X-Men away.
this is so out of focus.
Hi, Sentinel.
There we go.
What do you like? You're a Sentinel. What mutant do you like? You're a Sentinel.
Yeah, I know it's too blown out. I remember that a little while ago, and then I forgot. Light. And which one is all the
Sorry
way?
about that, Sentinel.
Sorry about what?
Sorry.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you for apologizing to the Sentinel. Try not to break the Sentinel.
Okay, so we're gonna go for our drive.
He's just said it.
You'll probably need to have you come next time. Okay? So I'm gonna
All right.
right there. We're gonna go for our drive.
He's not broken. Let me see these.
All right, this is working. I'm gonna have to mess with the camera a little bit to figure out the position and the lighting of it, but mainly I wanted to get this set up so that my son would have a better painting camera for when we do these streams together. We'll probably do, well, so we'll probably do another one. It might be next week before we do another one, because I think tonight his stepdad is going to come over and we're going to try and play Slay the Spire. We had such a good time playing Slay the Spire with my son's friend, the boy who comes to our D&D group, and his dad, so Steven and Landon. We had a great time playing it, and my son was just so happy that we got it, and now we have a card game that he likes playing. I tried to get him into Marvel Champions a lot, and he just was not into it. He didn't care. The game mechanic wasn't quite right. Yeah, but like once we got playing Slay the Spire, he likes the whole game. So that's been nice. All right, I think I'm gonna start dry brushing this now that I got like the undercoat right. Most of it. Hang on, I'm missing a couple spots.
We're going on our drive.
All right, have fun on your drive. Okay. All right, now I'm gonna look for bright white to dry brush over it, and then I'm gonna try and bring that color up with some more contrast paints. Any of you all played a Dragonbane game before? Like in the Dragonbane, I don't know, campaigns or anything? I know they're coming out with a new campaign, and I looked it up. I didn't look that much into it, but I saw that they are like releasing one, I think in October, like an actual campaign. And I thought like, okay, maybe that would be a good book to get to give myself some ideas for world building for my son's campaign, if we can get him started one. I still think Dragonbane would probably be the setting to go with. All right, that one's undercoated. I'm gonna go up on white soon. Okay, this guy is supposed to be yellow. All right, so I gotta be a little more specific with this one. Smaller brush. Forget something?
Always.
Forget.
My phone. You know, the music, the entire time. Fall asleep.
No, I got you. Hold on. Different brush. Where did I put my brushes? There we go.
Okay.
One of the things I was thinking about with regards to trying to teach my kids how to play the games was like, if there are different steps for teaching an adult how to DM than there is for like a player. And like, so then I was thinking about like, okay, how do you teach a person how to DM the game? And I'm sure there's like tons of videos on YouTube, but then I was thinking like, okay, how would I teach someone how to run a game? And that was kind of like the, you know, like I was trying to like gather some steps. I was like, okay, well, maybe I would just actually sit with them and start the process like I was going to do it. So, okay, I got to come up with like an NPC. Who's the bad guy, you know, or who's doing bad stuff? Okay, a world setting. All right, maybe I roll on some dice. And so I kind of would go, do I just start at the beginning and go step by step? You know, because like then it became a question, like how would I teach someone to run a game? You know, like, hey, all your players are going to show up and they're all going to sit there and be like, what are we doing? You know, because like it, you know, and I guess in some ways, like some people had to figure that out, but I don't know how they figured it out. You know, I've never done that. Like, how did I do it? And I was like, I don't know. I started in 4E and I can't really remember. I think I just started making things up or something. You know, like then my players started playing, and then I would make something up based on like I don't think I prepared at all. And then if I did ever prepare, it was probably just like monster names or something. And it was just hard for me to remember. So then I was like, how do I do it now? And so I was like, okay, but how do I explain that to someone? Because I kind of know what I do now. But if I was going to try and take my kid or his friend and go, okay, here's what you're going to do, I think I'd just take them through one night's preparation, you know, because it's like you can be over prepared. So like it's not about like memorizing everything in one book, because I still don't know all the things in like Shadow Dark. I know a lot of them, enough to run the game, but the game says you can run it if you just know the first 3 pages. Yeah. So anyways, that's kind of where I'm at, trying to figure out what to teach them and if that's a video in and of itself. You know, because I suppose other people might be wanting to know, how do you teach your kids to play these games like on their own with each other? I'm sure there's someone who has a video out that describes that process. All right. This guy's got to be brown, and then other brown, and then like some purple. Okay. Let's go with the skeleton. Snake bite? No. I have a skeleton one somewhere in here. Skeleton skin or something? Oh my gosh, where is it? I pass on the first row. Skeleton horde. There we go. Matt Colville has a series running the game, designed to introduce basics of DMing. He does a good job summarizing instructions. He used to write video game books and character dialogue. Interesting. I've seen a couple of Matt Colville's videos. They're very helpful. I did not know all that about him. But yeah, he seems to be a sort of popular figure in the tabletop role-playing game world. Like he's invited to things where like someone's testing out their game or something. I'm sure maybe that makes sense that he's like a writer or a game designer or something. All right. Okay, so I'm looking for skeleton horde, and I want leather on top. Leather. Dragonbane is pretty easy to run, mostly because there are no set DCs that the character needs to roll. Just checks versus their skills. Monsters are easy and fun to run. That's the idea that I got, and I was like, as I was looking through the book, I was like, why does anyone play Dungeons and Dragons? I was serious. I was having that question. I'm like, is that a? I don't even know. Like, it's one of those things where I'm like, this is so easy. You know, I'm like kind of upset at myself for having played D&D for so long, so many frustrating games. Like, I'm not to the point with it where I'm like, okay, I want to change our Shadow Dark game. Although I already thought about it, it's just my players, they need something a little bit more consistent. I can't just be going like, okay, new system, new system, new system. I probably would, and so I'm not going to do that. But when I saw the Dragonbane book, and I was like looking at like how the game is run, my thought was this would be really easy for any of us to run week by week. And like if we were playing in this system, I think Shadow Dark is also pretty easy, but there was something about the way that the monsters operate that was like, you know, you're just because you're rolling them, and that seemed to take away some of the stress as a DM of like what thing you pick or how many different things I got to remember. All I got to do is keep these few pages open. It seemed really cool. So my thought was just to try and get a side game in. On Wednesdays we have my son's friend and his dad come over, and lately like I said we've been playing Slay the Spire, which has been fun. But I was like, you know what, I bet I could get his dad interested in tabletop role-playing games, because he says he's not. I bet I could get him interested in role-playing games, tabletop role-playing games with Dragonbane. You know, this game is like, it's simple, and you're right. It's got like the forward-facing thing. Like, there's a part of it where like, okay, I think that mechanic is really good for not just a competitive person, but like maybe like a war gamer, because you know what your DC is ahead of time. The person you're trying to beat is you. You know, like the DM doesn't go roll a 10. arbitrarily or something, you know, what you're doing happens to be an axe skill or a bow skill. So obviously you're going to be rolling against your bow skills, and then that roll under thing is like, boom, I think that's what I do. I think I hand my friend Steven like a character sheet, help him make a character, and then start in a Dragonbane world. I think that system will hit the niche of gameplay that he specifically is looking for.
Hello again.
Hey, you're back. I did not think I would be going this long, but I got talking, and then I'm still trying to paint and get the camera set up. I keep having to make adjustments. Oh, hey, shh, it's him.
Oh, it's Ryan as well.
Oh, okay. Oh, so he came too?
Yeah.
You guys want to play?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right, okay. Okay. Oh my goodness. All right. Let's see. HeroScape. Okay, a couple things. Okay, Dragonbane is pretty easy to run. So yeah, most of decent. Yeah. Okay, we got that. Okay, I'm not gonna be able to get around the dogs barking for a second. Hold on. Worked a lot on Mercenaries. If you ever played that one, it's a really fun game. Grand Theft Auto on a Warzone is the summary. Okay, I'm gonna take a picture of that one. Let's see. Thank you. I would like to look that one up. What's that? I know I have note cards, but I also I'm also like painting this stuff. Okay, hold on. Thank you, TSL. Thank you. Hey, shh. Thank you, TSL Frontman. I'll check that one out. All right, love some HeroScape. Yeah, they're going nuts. All right, I think its mechanics will push your rolling to an interesting play for the players too. Yeah, I think so. All right, so we're gonna start up a game of Slay the Spire, and I'm gonna pause painting for now. Hopefully these videos get uploaded soon. Thank you so much for hanging out and help me out while I adjust these cameras. We'll be back to streaming later on. Have a good night. I'm gonna stop it there. All right, stop streaming. All right. Oh, God bless you.